What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I believe 21 Savage has made a massive mistake. And remember to like, share, subscribe, do all that. It helps me out a ton. But I believe 21 Savage has made a massive mistake by not having his album ready at the end of this It's All a Blur tour, or at least having a concept ready, or an album cover, or even a title of the album ready. Like, it's just a massive mistake. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm glazing or anything like that, but it's just the truth at the end of the day. Working with Drake is the Midas touch. It is the golden ticket in the rap genre. There's nothing like it. There's no other boost like working with Drake. There's no single thing that you can do. I mean, maybe besides, like, I don't know, getting shot and living. Like, besides like that, even that, Drake, working with Drake's probably bigger than that. Especially a collab album. There's really nothing that you can do to build hype around yourself or to boost your numbers more than working with Drake. And 21 Savage not only got to work with Drake on a collab album, but he got to go on tour with Drake as well. And when you have those type of opportunities, you have to capitalize on it because they don't come around very often. Let's just be honest. And even if they do come around again, it's never like the first time. The first collab album with Drake won't boost you like the second time will. The first tour with Drake won't boost, even if there isn't, I mean, there probably won't be a second time, but you get what I'm saying. The first time is always the best time to do something to capitalize off of it. And 21 Savage completely just kind of missed that opportunity. It would have been the perfect time to drop his next solo album right at the end of that It's All a Blur tour, just like how Drake dropped his new project For All the Dogs at the end of the It's All a Blur tour. And the difference is 21 Savage would have been able to build hype outside of just like, oh, I'm on tour, go see my album or go listen to my album, which is what Drake did. All Drake did for promo on this album run was, hey, y'all, I'm about to drop an album. I'm on tour. Hey, crowd, I'm dropping an album. That's literally it. And like a post on Instagram. 21 Savage would go do promo interviews. He'd, be on Hot 97. He'd be doing all type of stuff on Instagram Live. Like, he would actually really promote his project outside of it just being on tour with Drake, and that would make it so much bigger. Not bigger than Drake's album is what I'm saying. I'm trying to say it would make it bigger than it would be in general. And we've just gotten so much evidence over the years of people working with Drake and them, getting a lot of benefits afterwards. Even look at somebody like Lil Durk. Lil Durk had the song with Drake back in 2020, and he dropped a project after that, maybe like a couple months later. And his project went up in like 20,000, 30,000 sales from the previous one. Now, obviously, that's not all attributed to Drake, but that is a massive part of the equation. And that was just from one song with Drake. One song that did really well on the charts. Imagine what it would be like after an entire collab album with Drake and an entire tour. And of course, it's not like 21 Savage is just a nobody. It's not like 21 Savage has nothing going for himself. He's a major star in his own right. Don't get me wrong. But again, that Drake boost is real. It's super real. And it would be even better now because he's an established artist. It's not like people are like, oh, Drake's working with this random guy. Who is that? I mean, maybe we'll give him a chance. No, you're 21 Savage working with Drake. So that makes it even bigger in terms of the boost. It's like, oh my God, 21 Savage worked with Drake. He did this, he did that. Now let's go listen to a 21 solo album. Because Her Loss sold over 400K first week, and then they were performing in front of about 20,000 people every single night for the It's All a Blur tour. It was just a perfect opportunity to give the fans something in order to build hype for your next project. It didn't have, I understand it's art and you can't really rush art and, the artist has to take their time and really finish the product to their own liking. I understand that. So maybe you couldn't have the project done at the end of the tour, but you could have a title. You could have maybe a couple snippets. You could have a cover art, like something. You have to give the fans something to build hype for your next project because it's the perfect time to drop it. Now, maybe, 21 Savage will come out in a couple weeks like, yo, I got an album. But it just doesn't hit the same as, oh my God, 21 Savage is working with Drake. He's on tour with Drake. Now he's announcing his album. Like, it's just so much bigger just having your name attached to him. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, 21 Savage, be a Drake groupie, rely on Drake for your entire, like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But you got to understand the opportunities that are in front of you. And when you're with Drake, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's music, if it's sketches on Instagram. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast like Bobby Altoff. When Drake's involved, it's just bigger in general. Again, I'm not trying to glaze. It's just the truth. He's the biggest in the genre. It's just the truth. So when you have that, you gotta capitalize on it, bro. You got to. And it's not like 21 Savage just dropped a solo album last year or just dropped a solo album 2 weeks ago. Like, it's not like he's an artist that's consistently dropping albums from year to year. Like, no, his last solo project was in 2020. So it's been more than enough time for fans to be like, man, we want a 21 solo album. There's been more than enough time. There's been more than enough hype built off of the Drake stuff and the Her Loss and all the memes, the 21, can you do? Like, there's been enough hype and anticipation built to where you throw in a 21 Savage album, at least maybe even an announcement in the middle of the tour. Hey, my album's coming out November 1st. Oh my God. I know I just made up a random day. I don't even know if that's a Friday, but you get what I'm saying? It just makes everything so much bigger. Because like I mentioned, again, people are already anticipating a 21 Savage album regardless, because it's been a minute. It's been a couple years. So you add on to that, you just worked with Drake, or you are currently on tour with Drake, makes it so much bigger. And it's even more so a missed opportunity because the number one spot in the subgenre of trap is kind of up for grabs. It's not like completely up for grabs, but there's some debate. There's some room for 21 to wiggle his way to the top, right? Because normally it's Lil Baby, right? Lil Baby is the number one trap artist. When you think of trap music, you think of Lil Baby, modern trap music, right? But he's not holding onto that football super tight right now. He's not clutching it with two hands running through the pile. He's kind of running with one hand like LaShawn McCoy, like Shady. He running with one hand. He got the ball kind of loosey-goosey. And there's an opportunity for somebody to come in and take that ball and go to the top, right? And then you go down the list. Okay, there's Future. Well, I mean, Future, he's still doing his thing. He dropped a project last year. It was released to a lot of success. But in general, Future's not really going to force himself. He's not going to force the situation. You know, he's just kind of chill in the background. So, I mean, you can go up and still be number one while Future's doing his thing. Then you look down the list again. Lil Durk. Okay, well, Durk's been doing his thing. He's been hot for a couple years. His last project, it wasn't trash, but fans weren't like, oh my God, Lil Durk, like this, it's almost, or, oh my God, like, you know, they weren't going crazy over it. They weren't, you know, there wasn't a lot of hype for the album after it's been dropped. So again, Durk is still doing his thing. Don't get me wrong, but not the number one spot. Then you go down the list again. Gunna. Okay, well, Gunna's doing his thing. He just had F You Mean, one of the biggest songs of the year. But his album sales aren't really gonna compete with 21 Savage's at this point. Gunna just sold like 80K on an album. Gunna just sold 80K on an album. 21 Savage back in 2020 sold about 170, and then he just worked with Drake and then went on tour with Drake. So his numbers are gonna be a lot better than Gunna's just off the rip. So he could probably pass Gunna up too. And then you look down the list again. Okay, we got NBA YoungBoy. YoungBoy hasn't dropped a project in 6 months, which for every other artist is normal, but for YoungBoy, that's an eternity. And also, his numbers in general just aren't going to compete with 21 Savages like that. So, again, there's a lot of question marks in the trap genre for who's number one at the moment. I still would say it's Lil Baby, but there's room for 21 Savage to be like, hold on a minute. I was already in the argument for number one. Now, I'm about to go take that spot because now everyone's eyes are on me. I'm on tour with Drake. I just did an album with Drake. Everyone's paying attention to me. There's no way you can't. So, hey guys, I'm dropping an album. I'm dropping an album at October 30th. I'm going to do an interview with Funk Master Flex. I'm going to do an interview with Charlemagne and them. I'm going to do an interview with Academics. There's just so much opportunity there that 21 Savage really missed out on. Now, don't get me wrong. 21 Savage is still going to be successful when he drops his next project. It might even sell over 200K. His last one sold 170. And the Drake boost is still going to be there. Don't get me wrong. But it's not the same as him taking advantage of it. Like there's having, the Drake boost as a consequence of what just happened. And there's also taking advantage of the Drake boost and making it even bigger. You know what I'm saying? And again, I understand art is not simple. You can't just say, hey, get this done. It's not like homework for whatever class you're in. You can't just be like, it has to be due on this date. I understand that. But you could have something ready to build hype. Something. A title, a rough estimate on a date, a cover art that's probably not even going to be used. Like something, a snippet, anything to build hype for it because it was just a massive chance to do so. And I feel like that chance now has passed. Now, again, he's still going to do great numbers, but I feel like 21 Savage, realistically, if he would have dropped his album, let's say maybe a week after the tour was over and he had been, kind of campaigning for the album and talking about it over the last couple months while the tour was going on and maybe even before the tour, if he dropped it like a week after it ended, He could have sold like over 250. I'm not even, or not over 250, but around 250. I really believe that. Now, that might be a stretch, but again, he's working with Drake, and people are already anticipating a 21 Savage album. So now you do the album, you have the tour, you're in every city. Hey, y'all, album on the way. You go to a specific city. I don't know, maybe you're in LA. Hey, y'all, the official date of the album is November 26th, right? Whoa, oh my God. Everyone's tweeting it. Everyone's, posting the videos on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There's just so many opportunities that could have been taken advantage of that he didn't. And I think it may be something that he regrets. Now, again, I'm not saying 21 Savage is going to fall off. His career is going to be done. He's going to sell 20K on his next project. But there was just a massive chance to 100% take the flag as the biggest trap artist in the world. 100%. He could have took that flag and ran with it. 100% easily if he would have did this. But also, there's just a chance to make your career a little bit bigger. Make your numbers a little bit better. Now, maybe that's not important to everybody, but I'm just saying. It was the perfect opportunity. And again, it's not like 21 Savage just dropped a project last year. It's been a couple years. People have already been waiting on it. And it was just the perfect opportunity to build hype around your project when you're at the biggest point in your career in terms of eyes on you. There's just no other point in your career where everyone's looking at you like when they're looking at you when you're with Drake. Even if you are your own artist, he's his own thing. It's not like he's Smiley, where Smiley wasn't really popping like that outside of Toronto, and then, he got on the scene because of Drake. Like, no. He's 21 fucking Savage. Like, the man has hits. He's doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But you got to take that. You got to take that opportunity when it's there, man. And I really think it's a missed opportunity. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe his numbers would have been the same. But I really feel like this could have been a massive game changer for 21 Savage's next project and really put him into that bona fide top 7 biggest rappers in the world list. Like, really. Because the biggest rappers aren't always sell, like Bad Bunny. He's one of the biggest artists in the world. And, he's had projects where he doesn't sell over 200K. Like, imagine if 21 Savage pops out with a project that sells 245, 250 because he just did it, But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe everything I said in this video was just dumb. It's just my opinion. Don't take it too serious. But if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Again, thank you so much if you made it this far. Have a great day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.